Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of You Skipped That. I'm Alex Grace.
And I'm Dan Clark.
And we're two friends who like to watch movies.
We do.
We do.
Yeah.
We do this every week now.
Yeah.
It's kind of become a fun little ritual.
Yeah.
But the whole gist of this show, I mean, at this point, you're listening to this probably isn't your first episode. If it is, welcome.
Welcome.
If not, we watch a movie that one of us has seen but the other hasn't. Kind of introduce them to a new movie. And I kind of like to think we're doing that for you too, maybe.
Hopefully some people out
Introducing you guys to some new movies.
Yeah. Some of them are obscure, some of them are not. This one I think is kind of right in the middle.
This one's right up the middle, yeah.
It's not really obscure, but it hadn't really been...
Everyone's heard the theme song.
I'm going to say it right up front. I'm not a big fan of Dolly Parton's music. The woman is a saint.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Nothing against the woman at all. She seems delightful. I've heard from people who've met her. She seems like a delightful person. Not a big fan of her music.
Yeah.
This song is a bop.
It is.
Like this is the exception to the rule.
And this song, of course, is 9 to 5.
From the movie...
9 to 5.
9 to 5. There we go.
What a way to make a living. So what'd you think?
I liked it.
It's delightful.
Yeah, this is one that Alex had seen that I hadn't. I'd seen clips of it.
Mm-hmm.
I'd, of course, heard the song. I knew the premise of it, but I had never actually seen it. And it's a good movie.
Right, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Out the gate swinging.
We got a minute and 45 seconds into the podcast before I said absolutely.
For those of you just joining us, Alex is absolutely a lot. I do too. Not as much, but we've got an absolutely jar going. We got, what, $50-$60 in there now?
At least.
10 episodes in?
Lori, you can run the numbers on that for me. I know you're listening to this.
Yes, I liked it.
Yeah.
It's not like the funniest movie I've ever seen.
No, but...
It drags a little bit in places, but it's overall, I liked it.
Right. Some solid laughs. I mean, all-star cast.
Yeah. Not like a big cast.
Not deep, but the four people who have more than 5 lines in the movie are all huge names.
Yep.
Jane Fonda, Lily Tomlin,
Yep.
Dolly Parton, and Dabney Coleman.
Who just recently passed away.
I know.
Yeah, it's too bad.
R.I.P.
Yep. Workplace comedy, as you can guess from the name.
Yes. A workplace comedy that goes horribly awry.
Horribly awry, yeah. Dabney Coleman plays a boss that no one likes.
No one likes. In fact, is described, let me pull it up here, as the most sexist, egotistical, lying, hypocritical bigot on the planet. Multiple times, all of those words in that order.
Occasionally out of his own mouth and like fantasy sequences.
True.
Yeah.
True.
It's I think this came out in 1980.
Yep.
And you can tell.
Oh, the 80s-ness, really the 70s-ness.
That late 70s, early 80s feel.
Yeah, it's got that last little tinge of 70s-ness to it. No joke, after they redecorate the office, my first thought was it looks like the TVA from the Marvel show Loki.
Yeah.
It's all brown, orange, and yellow.
Yep.
Which is the most 70s color scheme I've ever seen.
Yeah, I don't know what the deal was with that. Neither of us are around in the 70s, but some of you older listeners might have some explaining to do.
Yeah.
Might just.
I can think of at least one listener who is currently raging and shaking his fist in the air right now.
Oh, my dad might be too if he actually starts listening.
One of the people I was referring to, but Hi, Bob.
Hi, Dad. No, he's probably going, yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, even like Dolly Parton's hair can only be described as late 70s, early 80s Dolly Parton hair. It's just...
Exactly.
It's big and blonde and just wild.
Probably 60% perm and 40% product.
You can almost smell the hairspray coming off the screen.
But oh my gosh, let's get into just some of the antics that happen in this movie. It is a hijinks heavy movie.
It is.
If you haven't seen the movie, here's your chance to stop.
It's not a movie that's big on spoilers.
No. And it's not like I'm spoiling anything, but I want you to go watch the movie. It's a lot of fun.
I don't think we're going to spoil anything that you're not going to get looking at the poster for the movie.
Right, or watching a trailer or anything.
I was looking at the poster here just a little bit ago, and it is, a solid part of the movie. It's just,
Yep.
There he is, tied up and All three of them looking smug about it. There's twists and turns to it, but yeah, if you don't want to know anything about it, you like to go into it fairly blind. That's not one that necessarily benefits from going in blind.
No, it's not a Shyamalan movie.
Yeah, if you want that experience, now's your chance. And then come back.
Boom.
There we go.
Okay, we're back. You just finished watching 9 to 5. You had some laughs.
Yeah.
You tapped your toe along with the theme song. Maybe even sang along. I know I did. But anyway, we open up on Jane Fonda, who is recently divorced and starting her first real job, her character Judy, and is just kind of thrown into this overwhelming corporate world.
Yeah, there's a lot of just, here's the thing, you'll figure it out.
Yep.
I think we've both been there. All of us out there have been there.
You know what? I worked at Walmart.
Yep.
I'll say it.
Yeah.
No offense, Walmart. If you ever want to sponsor us, you guys do a good job, but there's a lot of that job where it's just like, hey, figure it out, I guess.
Yep. You put the thing on the shelf.
Put the blue vest on and just go to town. But Judy quickly makes friends with Violet, Lily Tomlin's character, who is kind of the second in command in the office.
She's kind of the mother hen.
Yeah, she's the one kind of she's the one that actually makes everything run on time, while the boss takes all the credit.
Yep.
Which is a line in the song.
Uh-huh.
But Lily Tomlin is really fun in this. She's a lot more sassy than I'm used to seeing her.
Yeah, her whole bit in the hospital got me pretty good. Wheeling around a corpse.
Yep. Stealing a corpse.
Well, yeah, I wasn't going to throw around like actual criminal.
Well, yeah, we're going to get to that because that's a topic I want to discuss.
Uh-huh. They eventually become friends with
Dorley.
Played by Dolly Parton.
Yes.
And her hair.
Oh my gosh.
Who's not really super popular in the office at the beginning.
No, because of some totally unfounded rumors that are flying around about her. Involving the boss, one Franklin Hart Jr., or as Violet likes to think of him, F. Hart.
Yep. Played by Dabney Coleman.
Yes, who, while playing so many just, fairly delightful, likable characters, does a spectacular job of being the most hateable jerk you've ever seen.
He's slimy in this.
He's so awful.
And just when you think, man, maybe we've reached the bottom of the barrel, he
pulls out another
goes deeper.
one.
He's just not a good person in this.
No, it's like they just took every 50s and 60s misogynist boss stereotype, dumped them in a blender and hit puree.
I can definitely see people sitting around the writer's room going, oh, I had a boss who did this.
Right.
Well, I had a boss who did this. And someone's just writing it down on a whiteboard going, all right, here's our character. Everyone complained about their boss for a while. Yeah. Here it is.
Yeah, the guy pulls a few moves that I think even Don Draper would kind of go, wow, okay, you did that. All right. But eventually, the girls get together and, over some illegal substances, fantasize about what it would be like if their boss met with a terrible fate. All of them involving them, and all of them hysterical. One of the highlights of the movie for me, for sure. That whole dream sequence is just hysterical.
Yeah.
Especially Dolly Parton's, her riding up to his, 5th floor office on a horse is the funniest thing I've ever seen.
No stunt double in that, by the way.
No.
She hops right off that horse and walks right in. It's all Dolly. Also the lasso work.
Yes.
All her. Yeah, she was handy with that.
Putting some of those down-home skills to good use. Also love Lily Tomlin's whole Snow White parody fantasy is very funny.
And then the hunting fantasy.
Yep.
Which, oddly enough, a movie I didn't think I was going to get flashes of. A little bit of everything everywhere all at once, with just this carnage going on around the cubicles and all that. Yeah, wasn't expecting that flashback, but
I do have to say one of the biggest laughs I get in this whole movie is when Dabney Coleman puts a trash can on his head like that's going to save him somehow.
Bulletproof trash cans.
Right, yeah.
Every office has one.
Every office has bulletproof plastic trash cans. From there, things just get worse.
Yeah, they think they've done something bad, and then they find out they haven't done something bad.
But then the boss thinks they did something bad.
And so they end up having to do something worse. Really, in a way, all three of their fantasies come true.
Yes.
In the worst possible way.
It is really funny if you notice all three of their fantasies actually do play out.
Yeah.
Largely the way they fantasize them.
Yeah. It's
Just,
kind of
with less comical twist.
Yeah, they still turn out pretty funny.
Yeah, oh yeah, they turn out very
Seeing
funny.
Dabney Coleman hanging from the ceiling from a dog runner.
It's even better than that is a garage door opener.
Oh, that was the garage door opener. I didn't pick up on that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
She already knew how to install one.
Yes,
from earlier in the movie.
I get it now.
Yep.
I get it now.
I didn't catch that the first time I watched it either. I mean, we're not going to sit here and break the whole movie down, although I could. It's very funny.
Yeah. Like I said, it drags in a couple places.
It does, yeah. There are a few stretches of about 5 minutes where I'm like, can something happen? Anything?
The fact that I kind of knew parts of the movie, I think kind of worked against me because they were like, okay, cool. Well, we just have to get the documents and then we can let them go. I was like, I know that there's a whole other thing that's about to happen with them kind of taking charge. I don't know that I got that in me. Like, I don't. And when it gets here, it zips along pretty quickly.
Yeah.
But yeah, it has moments. It's not a perfect movie.
Oh, no.
But it's a really good movie.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's just a great girl power movie, too. It's just like, go girls.
I told someone at work today that I hadn't seen this movie. She's kind of been following along with the podcast journey. And I said, yeah, we're doing 9 to 5 tonight. And she said, oh, Alex hasn't seen 9 to 5? I said, no, I haven't. And she went, you haven't seen it? Wait a second. You weren't a feminist in the 80s. Of course you haven't. Yeah, okay, yeah, that's fair. I wasn't much of anything in the 80s.
I was definitely nothing in the 80s.
Uh-huh. I was a little, 86.
You were around.
I was around for the last half of it, yeah. Not super aware, but I was around. Yeah, it's got some girl power messages. Actually, the reason that I knew parts of this and everything, I watched part of it in college in an organizational communication class.
Hey, there you go.
I was a communication major. The way that being more sympathetic to the workforce led to increased productivity and all of that. It was kind of, so we saw little bits of that and then some stuff to put it into context, but I saw all told maybe 10 minutes of it. 10 years? No. Geez, more than that. Back in 2007, you do the math.
Yeah.
I don't want
Folks
to.
at home, do the math.
I don't want to. I don't want to think about that.
But yeah, I could definitely see that. I mean, there's actually some pretty solid business advice in this movie.
But it doesn't beat you over the head with it. We were actually at the end of the semester talking about with some heads of the department, and someone said, yeah, we watched this movie 9 to 5 and all of the heads of the department laughed because oh yeah, the educational movie 9 to 5.
Right.
The go-to movie for if you want to be a productive manager in an organization, I guess.
Don't question where good ideas come from, you know? That's a little nugget for all you guys at home. Mm-hmm. TM.
I'm trying to think. I don't know that I'd ever actually seen Dolly Parton act in a movie. I saw her in, I think, Miss Congeniality 2, where she's playing herself.
Yes, yeah.
But I don't know that I've seen Steel Magnolias, but
yeah,
less said about that.
Forget about that one.
I was surprised to see how skilled she is.
She's very, very skilled in something like this. In fact, it's really funny. I was actually just reading some trivia while we were between the movie and here, like I do.
Yep.
And apparently, she was so prepared, she was so nervous about this, that she memorized her part and everyone else's. She memorized the entire script of the movie.
More power to her. I couldn't do it.
And then on top of that, she was really shocked to find out that they filmed movies out of order. She had no idea about that going in, and was taken aback, much to the humor and delight of Jane Fonda and Lily Tomlin.
But she brings it in this.
She does.
It's not like heavy lifting or anything like
Right.
that. It's not like she got her start on some big Oscar baity kind of movie. But
She did get nominated for a Golden Globe.
Nice.
For this.
Yeah.
And won a Grammy for the song.
Of course.
Yeah.
We have established.
It is a bop.
It's a bop.
Exactly. But yeah, I mean, there are a couple of line deliveries by her in this that just crack me up.
She was killing me with the body in the trunk.
Yes.
Judy, Can you come back here for a second?
That was exactly one of the ones I was thinking of. Just the facial expression, the whole thing. Because, like, they really slow roll what she saw.
Uh-huh.
I mean, you can kind of piece it together from everything that's happened.
Yeah.
But just watching her be like, oh no. Hey, could you come back here for a second?
Well, part of what got me in that scene was not the line, but the fact that Lily Tomlin says, yeah, there's a tire iron in the trunk, and she knows that there's a body in the trunk.
Yeah.
And she just goes back there and opens it, and I was expecting some reaction like, oh, I forgot there's a body back here. Okay. But she opens the trunk and just, like, hands on her hips and goes, all right. And she kind of starts digging underneath it. She gives the impression that this is not her first time around a dead body, which makes me want a prequel just with her character.
Yeah, no kidding. I mean, it's Tennessee, man.
Yeah.
Stuff happens.
Don't ask questions.
Don't ask questions.
Yeah.
I think even Dolly would tell you that.
Uh-huh.
A couple more trivia nuggets. Mm-hmm. This is the first largely female-led film to gross $100 million. That's kind of cool.
Yeah. I mean, in the early 80s, that's big money.
That's big money. Apparently, when Dolly first showed the producer the theme song, she played out the tapping bit on her fingernails and just sang it a cappella and told him, you gotta have falsies to do this, and the nails have to be artificial too.
That's Dolly.
Yeah.
Who famously said, you need money to look this trashy.
Yep.
I'm paraphrasing. That's not an exact quote, don't
It's pretty close.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was a delightful movie.
Mm-hmm. I'm glad that I finally got to watch it. It's something, I bought it months ago, maybe a year ago. Just, it was on sale. I've been meaning to watch it for years. And fortunately, I put it off long enough that we could do it for the show.
I know. That has been kind of a recurring disappointment of, like, movies that we've talked about and been like, oh, we haven't seen this. And then I watched it, like, over the COVID lockdown, or Jurassic Park comes to mind.
Yeah, when Alex and I first started hanging out together, he hadn't seen Jurassic Park, and that would have been a great episode.
It would have.
I didn't find out until we were playing a game of D&D. I was like, the fence is like the one from Jurassic Park, and Alex just kind of sheepishly went, okay, cool, I gotta tell you something. I haven't actually seen it.
Well, it was funny because you had brought up Jurassic Park several times
Jurassic
before.
Park's one of my favorite movies.
Yeah, and in similar ways, just like, I mean, obviously everybody's seen, like, Jurassic Park, and I'm like, this is something I cannot tell this guy. I cannot tell him that I have not seen this movie. Because, we were still becoming friends at that point, and I'm like,
I don't want to ruin this friendship.
I don't want to be the weird guy who didn't see the movie everybody saw.
Right.
Back in the 90s. Like,
See, I see that, and you wouldn't have known this. I just see that as an opportunity of, cool, so we're going to watch that now, and you're going to learn.
Exactly, and now I have learned, and Jurassic Park is an awesome movie.
It's awesome, but
it's
it would have made a great episode.
It would have been the best episode.
Another one that we've said repeatedly that's lesser known that would have been extra good, Walk Hard, the Dewey Cox story with John C. Reilly.
It would have been a repeat actor. Actually, it would have been a three-peat actor. He's already been in 2 movies we've watched.
Yep, and I don't know if he'll be in another one.
I don't know either.
I can't think of anything else that he would be in that one of us has skipped.
We've both seen Talladega Nights.
Yeah.
That's the big one,
Yeah.
I'll have to think about it.
Holmes and Watson, maybe.
Holmes and Watson.
We've both skipped that one.
We both skipped that one.
And I hear that's a good thing.
Yeah, that's what I hear too. We might have to do just like a couple of we both skipped this.
Yeah, we're
just torture ourselves with dreadful movies.
Oh no, we might have to torture ourselves. I need to remind you what you have coming up for me in October.
Laughs deviously.
That'll be a surprise. That'll be a surprise for you and a source of constant dread for me.
Audience, I have such a great surprise for you guys in October.
It's funny, last week you were out picking up dinner and my wife was tagging along so that she could help. She texted me, hey, have you seen XYZ movie? And I said, no. And she's like, would it be okay if Alex added that to the list? I'm like, okay, let me remind you it's coming up in October. He has no interest in my well-being when he's putting stuff on the list. All right? We get some good ones like this. We get Lady Hawk, which I enjoy.
Yeah.
And then we've got October coming up.
Yep.
So.
Well, hey, I've got a lot of other good ones between now and then and after then.
Uh-huh.
But, I just saw a golden opportunity.
Yeah. I wouldn't call it golden.
Oh, it's so golden.
I mean, I guess there are other things that are golden that are not super valuable.
I mean, to be fair, nothing in this movie is golden. It's all blue for some reason.
Spoilers. Yeah.
I like just dropping a little hint there and see if people can figure it out.
I had a couple movies in October. Like, I don't know that Alex is going to like this. And then you put that one on there. I'm like, I might have to go worse now. Alex doesn't do scary movies. And so I've been trying to toe the line. He dropped something in there. I went, you know what? We're doing It.
That's cruel, man.
Sure. Sure.
That is not a proportionate response.
Yeah, I beg to differ.
That'll give me nightmares. This will mildly inconvenience you for 2 hours.
I wouldn't say mildly.
Harsh.
I have avoided that movie for a long time, and now you are forcing me.
Nobody's forcing you. Okay? Nobody's forcing you.
This or cancel the podcast.
Folks, I want to make it abundantly clear Dan is free to go whenever he wants. I mean, this is his house. I mean...
Yeah, where am I going to go? One room over?
Yeah, you can go hang out with your wife and the dog.
She'll come in and she'll do it, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Now she's seen the movie.
Oh, nuts.
Yeah, I guess I got to stay. I guess I'm stuck.
You're stuck here.
Anyways... 9 to 5.
9 to 5, right.
Yeah.
So any other thoughts on the movie?
It's just an oddly lighthearted comedy, considering what it's about.
And that's a perfect segue into what I wanted to talk about.
We didn't plan that.
We didn't plan that.
I promise.
That was beautiful. Like, we don't write this. This is all improv. Sometimes it just works out right.
Yeah.
This might be the movie I've seen that has the most felonies per minute of running time ever, and that's including things like the Ocean's movies. Like,
I've seen Wolf of Wall Street. That
fair. Yeah, that might be up there.
Yeah, have you seen that?
No, but I'm familiar with what it's about.
Yeah,
but that could theoretically be on the list.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, something Scorsese will be on there.
Oh, I imagine.
Yeah,
he's made a lot of movies, and I've seen very few of them. But yeah, and especially for a lighthearted comedy, like you said, there are so many felonies in this movie. Let's go down. You know, we have poisoning, theft.
That was an accident.
That was an accident.
It looks just like the sugar, except for the skull and crossbones.
Yeah, it looks like the sweet and low substitute. Yeah,
just
skinny sweet.
Yep.
The only difference is the skull and crossbones.
In the Big Dead Rat. They never mentioned there's a Big Dead Rat on the bus.
Right. So there's the poisoning, accidental, though it is. Theft of a corpse. Apparently of a police informant.
Yeah. So I guess you could put in, like, interfering in an investigation.
Yeah, so that's like 3 right there. Impersonating a doctor. I think that's...
probably.
That might be a misdemeanor.
Yeah.
Could be wrong. If a lawyer listens to this, feel free to get in the comments.
Yeah, let's do it. Assault with a deadly weapon.
Assault with a deadly weapon. Yeah. Kidnapping.
Wrongful imprisonment. Yeah.
We're up to like 7 already.
I mean, those are official documents they're forging
Right? Oh, yeah. So, I mean, yeah. At work, forging all those documents to make all those changes. That's probably,
identity theft.
Because
she does say that she bought stuff on his master charge.
Right? So yeah.
I think that's actual theft at that point.
We're like 9, 10, and that's not even including like individual occurrences of some of these things.
Yeah.
But for such a lighthearted thing, it's just like, wow, so many laws are broken in this movie.
And there are things in there that I was like, wow, this is really we've come a long way. We have further to go, of course, but the fact that it's so out of place that he just comes right out and says, yeah, I passed you up for that promotion because I needed to give it to a man.
Yeah.
It just says it outright, and she doesn't go, oh, well, I'm going to take that to whatever organization you take that to. It's just... I guess there's nothing I can do about that.
Yeah, makes you think about how much better things have gotten.
Yeah. Again, we still have...
a long ways to go.
Have progress to make, but progress hasn't made.
But yeah.
That's something I told my dad the other day that this is what we were doing. It's like, I don't know that movie's aged super well. Like, it's aged. Like, it's definitely from a different time. I don't think it's aged poorly, though.
I don't think so. Because anything that's bad in it is obviously bad.
Yeah, it's all treated as...
And the people who did it suffer by being sent to Brazil. Actually, the people who committed most of the crimes do get away with all of the crimes. But to be fair, the crimes were against a big fat jerk, so...
Oh, God. I wish Billy Flynn had pulled that out in Chicago. Of course she shot him.
But he was a big fat
jerk.
So, is it really a crime?
He shoved her and said mean things to her. What was she supposed to do? He was being a jerk.
Yeah. And then they both reached for the gun. They both. No, sorry. Might have to cut that, actually. Actually, no, I didn't get into it enough.
I don't think that's enough to get copyright stricken. Yeah. I mean, we've quoted.
We're good enough. AI is not going to go, no. Oh, yeah, that's Chicago.
No.
It's going to go, wow. Don't quit your day job, buddy.
See, this is me being quiet and friendly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, but then you said something. So now
I'm drawing attention to it so you have plenty of time before October to reconsider things.
Oh, I won't.
I know.
I won't.
I know.
We've both earned what's coming to us.
But a lot of the side characters are fun. What's her name?
Margaret.
Who is referred to in the movie. These are not my words, but referred to in the movie as the old lush.
Yeah.
Just half of her lines are "atta girl."
Yes.
And they're in response to things that do not deserve an atta girl.
Yeah. It's felonies in question, typically.
Most of the atta girls are like, I'm going to go get drunk on company time. Atta girl. I think her first line is Jane Fonda sees her with a flask in her locker and she goes, "It's medicinal." And takes the swig and puts it up. She was
delightful
fun.
Character.
The chairman of the board.
Yes.
Was fun there at the end.
Yep. Basically Colonel Sanders.
By way of Jeff Bridges.
Yeah.
Modern day Jeff Bridges. I mean, we've all known a Roz.
Yes. Yeah.
And she was not a funny character in the movie. She was
until the very last line.
Yep. She was the one where you could point to and go, I know her. I know, I've met that person.
You've either worked with that person or went to school with that person.
And if you haven't, then I'm sorry to tell you. You might
want to look in the mirror.
You might be that person. Yeah, she was kind of, I don't want to say a jarring presence. She didn't take me out of it. But while Hart was just kind of a caricature of bad bosses, he was just like every bad boss. Ever. With
rolled into one.
With all the good parts taken away.
Yeah.
She was just like really on the nose. Like, this is a person that you know.
Yeah. This is the office busybody who, makes everybody's business theirs.
Yeah, right at the beginning when Jane Fonda is being shown around the office, Lily Tomlin's character says, "That's Roz. Anything you say to her will immediately go back to Hart."
Right.
She is his eyes, ears,
nose and throat.
And you do see her throughout the movie just reporting directly back to him. Like at one point she is hiding in a bathroom stall,
with
writing
feet
down
up on the wall
so that no one can see, because they say anytime you're in the bathroom, check under the stalls to make sure you don't see her shoes. She got her feet up on the like the toilet paper dispenser and is writing word for word what they say on toilet paper.
Yep.
And then takes it back on regular paper. So she took the time to go back and type it up so that he wouldn't have a hard time reading it, and then hands it to him. Like I have known that person.
Yes. And I love that leads to one of my favorite lines of hers in the whole movie. Mm. He's like, "And they said all this?" She goes, "I'm pretty sure my notes were a little fuzzy."
And then just to show the sliminess of Mr. Hart, he sees this. He sees evidence of 3 employees plotting to kill him from what he understands.
Yeah.
And he goes, yes. This will help me get into Dolly Parton's pants.
Yes.
It's not, I'm going to go to the cops and I'm going to get these guys hauled away. It's just, I can use this for my own personal well-being.
Yeah. It's like, this is, like you said, it is all the worst bosses everyone has ever had dialed up to 11.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
It was really funny, though. We both got a pretty good laugh. There's a scene where he's being held kind of under house arrest in his bedroom.
Kinda.
Well, it's not official. It's not official house arrest.
If it's not official, it's not a crime.
It's not real, yeah. Well, no, it's a crime.
Yeah.
The fact that it's not official house arrest is what makes it a crime.
I guess so.
But we both laughed out loud as he's sitting in front of the TV, and you hear some very familiar music come out. Your mom and my grandma both were big fans of the soap opera Days of Our Lives.
I haven't heard that music in decades.
Me either.
And my wife, Megan, was watching this with us, and that music came on, and I laughed out loud, and she looked over like, what? Like, it's been 20, maybe 30 years since I've heard that music, and I heard 2 notes of it, and I went, that's Days of Our Lives.
Yeah.
Like sands through the hourglass, so are the days of our lives.
Yeah, it wasn't even close to the punchline, and we were both laughing.
Yep. Yeah, my mom watched back, probably before your time, the demonic possession arc. Do you remember?
I've heard stories.
Yup.
What was up with soap operas in the 80s and 90s?
The magic.
Yeah. I hear some of these plots, and I'm like, where is this in today's TV?
Uh-huh.
You know, you've got Days of Our Lives with the demonic possession. You've got General Hospital with spies, gangsters, and a Greek oligarch who builds a weather machine. I mean, what is that?
I mean, there was the early 2000s run on, what was it, Passions, that had, like, the little girl that was a witch, I think, and she spoke only through thought bubbles.
Weird.
Yeah, look that one up.
Yeah, I'm going to be looking that up later.
Yep. I think it was Passions.
But yeah, where is that kind of just absurdity in today's TV?
It might be there. I don't know. I haven't watched a soap opera since I was, you know.
When it was the only thing on TV.
When it was the only thing on TV, because that's what Mom was watching.
Exactly.
And I was, you know. Yeah, I remember the demonic possession thing, just being there watching it, and I kind of went, I don't know that I like this. And Mom was like, you got a room, you can go there. This is my hour of television.
Hey, I sat through Barney for you. You can sit through this, okay?
We were agreed on Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, though.
That's good.
We were good, yeah.
Mr. Rogers was quality.
Uh-huh.
Was one of the real ones.
He was, yeah. I don't know if anyone else remembers this one out there, but I also watched Zoobly Zoo. Do you remember that?
I do remember Zoobly Zoo.
You remember Zoobly Zoo, really?
I do, yeah. The beginning of me watching like kid shows was like the tail end of Zoobly Zoo.
That was a classic.
I remember that.
Yeah.
You remember The Big Comfy Couch?
Of course.
Classic.
Uh-huh. I can't remember her name, but I remember Big Comfy
Couch. I don't either.
Yeah.
And that bothers me, but...
like I remember the aerobics clock time.
Yeah.
Where she was laying on the ground with a big clock and all that.
Yep. Little cleanup song.
I think I was too old for that, but it was summer vacation. There was nothing else on.
Yeah, and PBS was just, the go-to, man.
Yeah. PBS, Nick Jr.
Uh-huh.
I watched a lot of Out of the Box when I was way too old to be watching Out of the Box.
Out of the Box was solid. There's, all the, early 90s babies. Uh-huh. You start singing that song, and tears. Yep. Just instantly.
Uh-huh. Anyways, this has been our episode on Nick Jr. in the early... Oh, wait.
9 to 5.
Let's get out of the kids' television and back to the movie about a bunch of felonies.
Yeah, about 3 wonderful women committing a lot of felonies.
Uh-huh.
And getting away with all of them.
Yep.
Yep.
Spoilers.
Which, honestly, good for them.
You kind of see it all the way down. Even, going into the end, it's I don't know how these ladies get away with all this, because it looks pretty dire there for a bit. But I know this is not the kind of movie where they don't get away with this.
Right. You give them a big atta girl.
I could have told you 5 minutes into this movie, this is going to end with a still shot of them laughing.
Oh, yeah.
It's that kind of movie.
Yeah, it's a classic 80s movie.
Uh-huh. I wasn't even that surprised that they had champagne while they were doing
it. Yeah.
It's just, of course, they're going to be celebrating, they're going to be laughing, it's going to freeze frame, we're going to get an update on what they did afterwards.
That is, one last thing before we kind of start wrapping things up here. Uh-huh. That is one of my favorite 80s movie cliches, is that little freeze frame cut into doing individual freeze frames, and here's what this character did after the movie. Here's what this character did after the movie. And there's always one of them that's just incredibly absurd.
Mm-hmm. They were all, no, not all of them. Dolly becoming a country and western singer was funny. And then Hart.
Yeah, being kidnapped by Amazons and never seen from again. Yeah, Very funny.
It's especially funny for me. I recently rewatched Predator. Mm-hmm. And that classic...
End credits
thing that you can find online with sitcom music over
Yes.
it really feels like it should have the Arnold
Yeah.
went on to da-da-da-da-da. Except most of them it's
Died 10 minutes into the movie.
yeah, Carl Weathers didn't make it to the end credits.
We brought up Carl Weathers again.
Yeah.
R.I.P.
He's an oddly a repeat person who hasn't been in any of the movies.
Yeah, he's only been in one movie.
He has been in one movie. Sorry, I forgot about Rocky.
Forgot about the very first movie.
The one that I did.
Yeah, it was your pick.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, I think we have talked about 9 to 5 and children's television and the way 80s movies end for long enough.
You remember Face?
I remember Face.
Stick Stickly?
Yeah, Stick Stickly.
Yeah. But yeah, anyways.
times.
Yeah. Throw a little nostalgia out there for people in our age groups. But
Absolutely.
yeah, I think we've...
Tink. That's 2.
You're doing better.
I'm doing better.
Especially after last week.
Last week's was terrible.
Yeah,
I think I counted 6.
It was tragic. But I think we've probably done all of the diving into 9 to 5 that we can.
Yeah.
Pretty good movie.
Love it.
Killer song.
Love it.
Early 90s children's TV was the best.
It was pretty good.
I don't even remember how we got onto that, but...
I don't either, honestly. Oh, I remember. It was Days of Our Lives.
Right.
We're talking about Days of Our Lives, and I was like, hey, I watched Barney for you. You can watch this.
Right, yeah.
Forgot we also went off on a tangent about how weird soap operas got.
Yep.
That was fun. But here we are at the end of our podcast.
If you'd like to hit us up on any socials, which Alex will go through here in a little bit, talk to us about your favorite soap opera memories.
80s movie.
80s, 90s children's television.
Yeah.
You can just hit us up and talk about anything. Like
Pretty much.
We're pretty happy with getting off topic.
We have a wide range of interests between the two of us.
We do.
We do.
We really do.
This is probably the second silliest episode of this.
Yeah.
Grand Budapest Hotel is pretty silly.
We got pretty wacky in that one.
Yeah.
I think we're just happy that we weren't watching someone just in absolute peril for 90 minutes after last week.
It's true, because, last week was a very good movie. Gravity, for those of you who haven't listened. If you're listening to these out of order, what are you doing, man?
They're pretty interchangeable.
They are.
Yeah.
They are, but, come on.
Yeah. People go through and they pick and choose.
That's true, okay.
The movies
That's
that they're
fair.
interested in, and then they kind of find their way in from there.
You know, you're a wise man.
I know.
You're totally correct there.
I'm ADHD. I've attacked a lot of stuff that way.
That's fair. I know how you play video games.
I have 3. I'm in the middle of 3 video games right now.
Anyway.
There was no end to that thought. But yes, socials. Why don't you tell them?
Socials. You can find us on all sorts of places across the internet. On Facebook, search up the words "You Skipped That."
Nice and simple.
Yeah, super simple. Instagram, Threads, TikTok, Twitter. I'm not calling it X. All of those, it's just at "You Skipped That." All one word. No spaces, no capitals. None of that nonsense.
Right?
Easy peasy. Hit us up on all those places. I'm sharing different stuff at all of them at different amounts of frequency. I might add.
It's lots of social media out there.
There is. There's so much. Make sure you follow them all. You never know what conversation might pop up on one and not on the other. And just, come be a part of things. Talk to us.
Yeah. We'd love to hear from you.
We love talking movies.
And other stuff.
And other stuff. Mostly movies, though. I mean, that is what the podcast is about.
Yeah.
Gotta stay close to on brand.
Yeah. If you come at us and go, hey, you remember PB&J Otter? Like, we're going to talk about PB&J Otter.
I'm now sitting here thinking about PB&J Otter. Thank you very much.
You want to do the noodle dance, don't you?
I do want to do the noodle dance. All right.
And that is our sign to exit.
That is our sign to exit this. We're going to go turn on some Disney Plus, not sponsored. And
Unless.
enjoy some PB&J Otter. So with that, we'll see you guys next week. I'm Alex.
And I'm Dan. And this has been You Skipped That.
See ya.
Bye.